Hello gorgeous flower pots, it's Sunday, it is time for your Auntie Nelly to service you. Hello, 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 give me that like, give me that love and give me that share. Let me know in the comments where you are watching me from. It is Sunday, it's 12 noon, I am here at kitchen table, hashtag kitchen table. Sunday service, if you've just joined, you're not quite sure what happens. A lot of Dear Auntie Nellies fall into the inbox and I read them out off the cuff. I don't know what I'm going to read until I open the actual Dear Auntie Nelly, and all my advice is given off the cuff and it is purely for entertainment purposes. If it is the first time you're watching and you don't know who I am, I'm an international agony aunt. I write for Chat magazine here in the United Kingdom. I write for That's Life Australia and Take a Break New Zealand. So I am a very well known agony aunt. I'm also a reviewer. So if you have any Dear Auntie Nellies you want answering, please write into the page. On Wednesday night we go live with Night Time with Nelly. Those are Night Time with Nellies over 18s only. I would say viewer discretion is advised. But on a Sunday, I'm here to service you. And hopefully, if the filters have worked on the inbox correctly, then they will filter through some nice Sunday services that are quite pleasant. Quite pleasant. Nothing of a sexual nature on a Sunday. Anyway, I can see some people are joining. I'm not sure how many of you will, simply because it is a beautiful day outside. It's lovely, so I'm sure many of you will be out with your families, enjoying the sunshine and enjoying what here in the United Kingdom is a bank holiday weekend. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. So, why am I shouting? I have no idea. So I've done a few TikToks this morning as well, which has been hilarious. In the process of doing a TikTok, guess what I did? I broke another tripod, that's correct. So yeah, lots of tripods broke. If you can hear a whirring sound, I do have a fan on because I am very menopausal today. Maria Kissick wants a shout out. There's your shout out. Who's going to be having a very traditional Sunday roast today? Are you? Or are you just going to have a picky tea because it's warm? Yeah, so Sunday service, I'm here to service you. Lots of Sunday services have come through, so I've tried to pull a batch through. Good morning there in Texas and good morning in Montreal, Canada. We've got international flower pots joining. Somebody's just put looking hot. Okay, I will take that as a compliment. Yeah, I took some pictures this morning, no filter needed. So yeah, so lots of pictures are on my social media without filters, which I know the trolls find really annoying because they love it when I use the filter. Then they've got something to troll me for. Well, not today, you haven't. Take a rest, Satan. Shall we get going with the very, very first Dear Auntie Nelly of today's Sunday service? I think we should. Like I said, any advice I give is purely for entertainment purposes, and also if anybody comments on your comments with gift, giveaway, prize, inbox me for voucher, it's a scam, don't fall for it. Claire Whitby, you got your shout out as well. People are saying you look fab. Well, thanks very much. Got myself a new bra and it matches my dress. Also wearing the matching knickers. So I think us ladies, when we've got matching underwear on, we really do feel like we've got our shit together, don't we? Yeah. Dear Auntie Nelly Anonymous, please letting you all know that everything that comes through is always anonymous. Hi Nelly, I don't know who else to ask. I am always last port of call. I recently found out I'm pregnant, but me and my partner had a massive argument a couple of weeks ago and we're not together anymore. He actually said he doesn't believe that the baby is his. I just don't know what to do. I am also struggling to go to my best friend with this as she is having, what's she having? Oh, IVF at the moment. So I don't want to cause her any stress. I just don't know what to do and feel so alone. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me. Okay, so I'm not too bothered about the fact that you've had the argument and you've fallen out, you're expecting, you've got to keep your emotions intact to look after that beautiful little baby that you're growing. The fact that your partner said, well, I don't even believe that baby's mine, is the issue here. What you need to do now is bag that off, put it to one side and concentrate on you and your pregnancy, on having a healthy, happy, stress-free pregnancy. It doesn't sound like to me he's the sort of person who's going to be there to help you and support you. And he certainly is questioning who the father of the child is. Now, that doesn't mean to say that he actually doesn't believe he's the father of the child. That could be that he's not willing to step up to the mark. He's not willing to take responsibility. I think it's better off finding out flaky people very early in situations. And you found out very early on in your pregnancy that the partner that you may have thought you were having a baby with and was going to be there to help and support you isn't going to be. Therefore, now you can get all your ducks in a row and look forward to being an independent parent. I've been an independent parent. I was alone when Olivia was born nearly 27 years ago. And I managed just fine. However, I wouldn't have managed as fine as I did had I have not had a really strong support network around me, such as family and friends. They were an absolute godsend. Now, you've got a friend you don't want to go to her with your troubles because she's going through IVF. Now, I couldn't give a flying fuck what I was going through personally in my life. My door will always be open to my friends regardless. Friendship is about going through the ups and downs together. You take the rough with the smooth. And when your friend is having conversations with you and saying, how are you? It's about honesty as well and trust. And maybe you can say things like, I'm not so good at the minute, but I don't want to bother you with it. A good friend will say, never mind about that, what's happening? You're my friend and I want to know. So I think you may be walking on eggshells, rightly so, because you're taking their feelings into account. But now more than ever, you really need as many friends and as much family around you to help you, guide you, support you and give you that shoulder to cry on, because it's not going to be easy. Your friend, if it's a true friend, will want to be there for you and help you and probably take off a little bit of stress and worry that they may be having themselves. So that's what, reach out to that friend. Also, that partner that you thought was going to be there for baby and you, they've left. Let them go. Open the fucking door for them. Tell them the door's not stuck. You're not keeping them kidnapped. Off they go. If they continue to question whether that child's theirs and there's a reason you need to actually make that known, there are things that you can do, such as DNA tests, etc. What you decide to do then is to have that person in your child's life is entirely up to you ongoing. But for now, try and be happy, stress-free, live a healthy pregnancy and bring this beautiful baby into a life where it's full of love and abundance. Okay, moving on. Dear Auntie Nelly, anonymous please. They're always anonymous, always, okay. I sold my house and moved in with my boyfriend. I don't work, so I get universal credit, but this has stopped because of my house sale. Which means my money puts me over the limit. I don't get it. I get universal credit. Oh, it stopped. Oh, you was on universal credit, but it's stopped because you've got a large sum of money. Right, okay, because you sold your house. He and I were engaged. But now, he says, he doesn't want to marry me. When he's home, he sits on his phone, reading the latest news, and I sit next to him watching TV. There's no longer any conversation. I'm absolutely heartbroken. Should I just cut my losses and try and find a place on my own? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay, so somebody's put, I'm going to Bake Cut, mentioning Legally Blonde musical in Bake Cut, Jake Taylor. Yeah, I'm going to get tickets for Legally Blonde. and get yourself over and watch the lovely Faye Louise. Anyway, right, so I sold my house, moved in with my boyfriend. I've got a lump sum of cash, but I can't have benefits. We were engaged. Now he says he don't want to marry me. He don't speak to me. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? So you've got a large sum of money. Can you not invest that into a little property of your own, a little 1-bedroom flat? Maybe even move area. It doesn't sound to me like this relationship is going anywhere. You was engaged, but now he said, don't want to marry you. Listen, when people tell us things, sometimes we don't listen because they're telling us what we don't want to know, what we don't want to hear. So we kind of think they might be having a moment, or they're in a bad mood, or they're not thinking straight, or they're not being rational. He's told you he don't want to marry you. If you want to stay in this relationship with a boyfriend and it's going nowhere, then that's fine. Because he has to, you can't cry and say he won't marry me when he's told you he won't marry you. So it's about moving on from that. So what do you want from life? Do you want to live in somebody else's home with no conversation? You sat next to him watching TV, he's scrolling through his phone. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no desire even for him to want to marry you. So what do you want from life? I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to sit down and think, what do I want life to give me, and what can I give to life for me to feel fulfilled? Have that conversation with yourself. He's had his conversation with you. You know where he stands. Absolutely move out, cut your losses, get yourself a little place, get yourself settled and happy, and then in the meantime, as you start working on yourself and you start being a little bit happier, maybe get a hobby. You said that you can't work. I don't know the reason for that. Maybe you could do a little bit of volunteering, broaden your horizons, and maybe you could get a new friendship circle. In the future, you may meet somebody who may want marriage, but I can't see this relationship going anywhere, and I don't think for 1 minute it's serving you. So get that little lump sum, off your fuck with it, get yourself a little place, and find yourself some happiness, because being on your own out of this home is going to bring you a damn sight more happiness than the anxiety, the rejection and the negativity that you're living in right now. You know, if you're a person with traumas, no matter what happens in your life, how people speak to us, what they do, that will always bring up the anxiety and the rejection that you may have had from childhood. Don't put yourself in situations where you're being hurt. And sometimes it's better the devil you know and all that nonsense, and sometimes the outside world can seem quite scary. But he's told you don't want to marry you. Get out of there. Get out of there. It's going nowhere. It is going nowhere. I can see people are wanting to join this live video. If we get a chance at the end, maybe, but unfortunately I don't normally do that on a Sunday service. Please don't take offence. Dear Auntie Nelly, I am deeply unhappy. I'm married and have a 7-year-old daughter. I moved in with my husband, which was quite far away from all my family. For 5 years I pleaded with him to move closer to my family. He said we couldn't do that because his job is specialist, and the job he does is only in the place we live. I never really wanted to move so far away from family. I have supported him in his career and have only ever asked him for one thing. He doesn't seem to understand how unhappy I am and how much anxiety I feel. How moving away from my family. Should I stay in the marriage or leave? When we're asking about should we stay in a relationship, whether that be boyfriend, girlfriend, a situationship, you're engaged, you're married, whatever it is, I don't think we've got to think about dynamics of it for now. When you say, should I leave my marriage? If you would be leaving your marriage because you're deeply unhappy with your marriage, then of course we look at that. But if you're leaving your marriage because you're missing your family, then that's not the real reason to walk away from your family, which is your husband and your child. Okay, they take a priority. Okay. Is there a reason why you can't visit family on a more regular basis? Because we have family all over, we have friends all over, we have the internet now, social media, we have FaceTime. There is a good way to be connected to family. My family can go and do something this morning in Italy, and within half an hour I can see it on social media. I don't have to wait for that letter or that postcard. I can also get a plane for a long weekend and go and stop a weekend with them. You know, is there a reason why you can't actually go on a Thursday night, stop at your family's house and come back on a Sunday every now and again? Is there a reason they can't come to you? I'm just really confused as to, your husband's got this job, he can only do it in this one part of the country, and you support him with that, but you miss your family, therefore you're going to leave your husband. Don't think you're thinking rationally, and we don't think rationally when we're deeply unhappy and you've got this longing and this wanting. But is that going to fix your unhappiness by walking away from your marriage? No, you're going to be more unhappy then, because then you'll be going through a breakup and a divorce. So I don't think you've exhausted every avenue. I think you really need to have that conversation with, number one, your family. I really miss you. Can I see more of you? Number two, husband, I really miss my family, and I'm going to start going every other weekend or every 3 weeks or something. I'm going to invite them up for the weekend. Do something that makes you more connected with your family, whether that be regular FaceTime, social media. And then, once you've got that, if you're then still deeply unhappy, then it wasn't that. You're looking for an excuse to leave the marriage. So exhaust every avenue first. And when I do relationship counselling with people, I always say, the problem you're bringing to me is not really the problem. It's so easy to just pick that one thing and think that's it. That's not it, is it? You're missing your family, you're missing your family. That's causing you unhappiness, therefore you're probably unhappy at home. Things aren't quite tickety-boo in your relationship because you're unhappy. Now, I ain't saying this is all your fault, it takes two to tango, but I think if you find ways of spending quality time with your family, people can live in the same town and never see each other because of work commitments, family commitments, they haven't got time. So it's not really about the distance, it's about the effort that you're all putting in to do that. Put some effort in, you're then still deeply unhappy and it is your marriage, then that's another conversation. I hope this has made sense to you, because I've kind of gone a little bit around the houses there, but we got there in the end, didn't we? Anyway, I'm drinking diet lemonade. I actually forgot how nice a Schweppes lemonade is on a day like today. Right, proud of myself. Dear Auntie Nelly, my 36-year-old son, I already don't like this one, but let's go, has just announced to my husband and I that he is a gay man. Okay? I am totally devastated and don't know what to do. I still love him, but I'm disgusted by his behaviour. I can feel the anger building up inside me here. He wants us to meet his boyfriend, and I have said no. Oh, I think he thinks it's fashionable to be gay. He has had a few girlfriends in the past, so this has come completely out the blue. I'm now thinking maybe the girlfriends were a disguise. My husband is putting a brave face on, but I know he's really upset. We have presumed in the not too distant future our son would marry and we would one day be grandparents. Auntie Nelly, it was not supposed to be like this. He's our only son, I don't know what to do, please help. I don't really understand how I can help homophobic people. I think ignorance sometimes, we can educate ignorant people. You know, people who are not quite sure. I can imagine someone in their 70s struggling with the she, her, they, them, the pronouns. I get that. It's not ignorance, it's just a new way of speaking. It's a new way of addressing people without offending. It's a new way. I get that. So we can be slightly ignorant, but we can be educated. Can we educate homophobes? No. When you said his behaviour is disgusting, I'd be disgusted if my child was a paedophile or a serial killer or an animal abuser or an abuser of any kind. That behaviour is completely unacceptable and is disgusting. I get that. But being gay, number one, is not a behaviour, and number two, is not disgusting. I'm actually feeling really saddened for your child, for your son, and I wish that he was mine, because it's Happy Pride in Manchester this weekend. What a perfect question. What do we do? What do we do? We love our children no matter what. No matter what, they're our babies. Doesn't matter on the personalities, the characteristics. Sexuality is not a personality. When you say that he's had girlfriends and it may have been a disguise, have you thought that maybe he may just be pansexual, he may be bisexual, he may not have quite known what he was and now he feels comfortable in a same-sex relationship and he wants to bring that person home to meet his parents? Why the fuck he would want his new love interest to meet you is beyond me. I would keep toxic you away from everything and anyone. And then you say, we thought we would be grandparents. What in the fuckety fuck if he had met a girl called Susan and Susan couldn't conceive? What would happen then? Would that be all right because that's nature's way? I really think that you need to stay under the rock that you live in the 1920s, and you certainly don't need to follow my page because I cannot give you any advice to change your homophobic ways of thinking. Isn't it sad but fantastic that we've got Happy Pride in Manchester this weekend? They have to parade they, them, he, she, her. They have to parade the streets for fucking imbeciles like you. I find myself quite privileged as a cis woman that I don't need to do that because apparently to you I'm normal and that's the way it should be. What makes you think that your son and the lovely new love interest aren't twin flames, soulmates, you know, they pick up house together and then they go and adopt? Would that mean that you wouldn't love them children as grandchildren because they're not blood? What are you saying there? I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. But I'm disgusted by your behaviour. I am disgusted that I have somebody in my universe, on my page, that knows everything that I'm about, what an ally I am, the work I have done for the Albert Kennedy Trust. It would not matter to me if my daughter came home tomorrow and said, Mum, please meet Jane. Thank you, Jane, for loving my child. It wouldn't matter to me if my daughter said, I'm not quite comfortable being a cis woman or female, or I just don't know what I am. Do you know what you are, daughter of mine? You are mine and I love you no matter what. So I cannot believe that you would write that to me, of all people, and think that I'm going to help you. No. No. I haven't got it in me. I haven't got it in me to assist you. You need to go away and you need to have a long look in the mirror. Because if there's anybody here that's behaviour is disgusting, it's you, sweetheart. Jog on. off your fuck. Hashtag bye Felicia. Anyway, there are people like that in the world, aren't there? There are, and I get it, and there shouldn't be, but there are. Whew. And yeah, they do exist. And rightly so, when I said at the beginning of this that we do struggle a little bit, don't we, with pronouns now, and are they he, are they she, are they, are they them, how do they identify? God forbid we offend them if we knew them as a boy and now they're a girl, and we've got to kind of stop remembering it's a he and maybe they're now she, and you might trip up a bit and you might get it wrong, but as long as you're educating yourself and you're showing that person that you're really, really trying your hardest and you want to move with today's times and you want to move with humans as best you can and not offend, then that's okay. That's okay to be a little bit, what do I do now? How do I say that now? I don't want to do anything that's going to offend, or, you know, and it's about taking responsibility yourself and educating yourself about today's world. But I cannot educate homophobes. Can't do it. Homophobic people, racist people, I can't do it. I can't do it. They don't belong here. You don't belong here. Dear Auntie Nelly, let's move on, shall we? Because I think I've given myself stomach ulcer. Okay, dear Auntie Nelly, I hate my own hair as well because of the fan. I'm nervous about committing to women, or even letting them get close to me. I have pushed away anyone who has tried to get close to me. I need your help as I don't want to end up a lonely old man. I'm already 46 and I am kind, caring, have a very good job, and people always say I look good. Okay? I have recently started dating a girl, but again, she seems to be wanting too much too soon. She does not seem to understand that I cannot cope with commitment yet, continues to put pressure on me. I don't want to break her heart, but I'm afraid of being hurt if we stay together. I'm also very confused and don't feel she is the one I want to truly settle with. Please help. I think maybe your love language and your personality is avoidant detachment style. I think that's where that comes from. So I think sometimes we close ourselves off to relationships, friendships, certain situations because we're frightened of being hurt. So rather than taking a leap of faith and taking the risk, we don't do it. So therefore, we're protecting ourselves. Now, when you say she's putting pressure on you, well, if you're in a relationship with this girl and you're seeing her on a regular basis and you're taking her out on dates, what pressure is she giving you? She's reading the signs you're giving her. Do you think that maybe you're in the wrong by dating? Do you not think that maybe you're the one who's causing this? This is happening because you're allowing it to by kind of making her assume that you want to date her. Therefore, she's then getting excited about you possibly being a potential partner. So I think if you've got all these fears about commitment, getting close to someone, not really wanting a relationship, then what the fuck are you doing dating? What are you doing dating? Because I know that if I go and put my hand in a fire, it will burn. So I'm not going to do that in fright the fire, am I? So until you've done some work on yourself, I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready to date. And it's certainly not fair to the other person. I mean, what pressure is there? What does she want? What all girls want? A good morning text. How's your day going? How's your day been? Good night. Can't stop thinking about you. Can't wait to see you. Is that pressure? Is that her making you feel she's getting too close? No, that's normal behaviour when you start speaking to somebody, when you start seeing somebody. You want to see somebody and then there's a bit of texting, then communication becomes a little bit more, you see them again. There's potential. So she's thinking there's potential. So you need to stop that now. You need to stop it now. The sooner, the better. And you also need to work on yourself. Just because you've got avoidant detachment style for your personality trait and certainly in your dating language, doesn't mean to say you're always going to be like that. There are workshops that you can do. There are self-help things that you can do in order to be a better communicator in future relationships. You know, I used to have anxious attachment style, and it's all to do with childhood trauma and rejection and abandonment. And I never quite understand why I was attracting the same kind of knobhead. I didn't get it. But once I'd actually looked at what my attachment style was and analysed it, and I thought, penny dropped. And things have been still single, still giving relationship advice and life advice, have not got my shit together, but I certainly don't make the same mistakes in dating that I used to. I still don't show myself off correctly in dating. I never know when to keep the gob shut. Then I say things I shouldn't have said, and then after the date I think, I don't even remember what you said. Well, you probably won't because you didn't give him a chance to speak. Yeah, there's still lots that I need to work on, but the minute that you kind of look at your attachment style, I think that's going to help you form healthier relationships in the future. Now, you say you're 46 and you don't want to be a lonely old man. I'm 48 and I'm still on my own. Somebody save me. You know, it's not about your age, and it's about the now, and I think you need to work on the now. And I think you need to tell this girl that you're nowhere near ready for a relationship and you need to work on yourself, and that will be the best relationship you will always have, the one you have with yourself. Every day is a school day. Every day we learn. Every day we grow. So please, please, please have a look at your attachment styles. Find out the one that you suit for you, and look at ways to improve your relationships, and you're going to be fine. But none of us should be sat saying, I can't get a boyfriend, I don't know what's wrong with me. I know why I can't get a boyfriend. I know why I've not been able to manage to have and settle down and have a committed relationship. But I also know that it won't always be like this, because I do work on myself and I'm very honest with myself as well. So the first time you start doing that, the anxiety fades away and you kind of get it, and you kind of get you a little bit more. Dear Auntie Nelly, I need some advice. I've made a terrible mistake. Oh, I'm a 48-year-old man. You hear that? I'm a 48-year-old man. I had a lovely life and an excellent job, lovely home, 3 beautiful children and a beautiful wife. However, I met someone younger than myself in the office and I left everything for her. We lived together for 6 months in her flat and it was exciting. But after 6 months, the novelty worn off, the grass is not greener, I missed my wife and really missed my children. I ended the relationship and I would do anything to have my old life back. But my wife refuses to answer my calls and ignores my texts. God, she's not what? Yeah, you can still text her. Well, no, you've got kids, haven't you? So I no longer get to see her because the sister drops the kids off when they come to stay with me. My sister-in-law said that my wife still does love me, but she hates me, what I have done for her, to her and the children. With your, excuse me, with your professional guidance, I'm hoping that I can fix this. Please help. Fucking hell, fire. Jesus, I'm not a magician. I'm certainly not Jesus either. Sounds to me like your wife's not Jesus either, because she's certainly not forgiving you, is she? No. You left her for a younger model. You left her with 3 children, and she's got double hurt, hasn't she? You've not just left her and had an affair, but you've left your children. And the hurt she'll feel for you abandoning your 3 babies is on top of you leaving her. I think she still needs to process what the fuck's happened here and why did it happen. Are you just wanting to go back now because you think, well, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be and actually I've made a mistake? What the fuck was it with this young office model that made you think life's going to be so grand with her, so I'll leave wife and kids? What was going on in your marriage? Have you thought about that? What was it that made you jump ship in the first place? Because the pain and the hurt that you're feeling now obviously would pass should you be invited back into the family home. But would that problem that was there in the first instance that made you leave be still there? Because I ain't saying that you've not been an absolute fucking clown. Absolutely you are. But what was it that made you do that? There must have been a reason. So have a think to yourself and think, what was it that the new office piece had that made the problems at home dissipate by you going with them? That's what you need to think about. What you also need to think about more than anything is how to be a good dad to your children. Because you can no longer look at building a relationship with your wife because you split up, you've gone, that's it. How can you be a fantastic parent to your 3 children now as a single dad away from mum? That has to be your priority. Your feelings, your hurt, your heartbreak, your wants, your needs, your desires on the back burner. What you have to think about here more than anything is, how do I maintain a relationship with my children? How do I fix that trauma I have caused? And in time, hopefully, you'll be able to pick your children up from your ex home and your ex will open the door. But at the minute, she doesn't want to see you. She don't want to have fucking nothing to do with you. Think yourself lucky that your sister-in-law is assisting so you can spend time with your children, because she's obviously a good human and she doesn't want those children to suffer for the mistake you've made. But I certainly will say this again, and I've said it often, the grass is not always greener. Believe me, my friend, it is usually fucking astroturf. So I can't fix your relationship with your wife, but I can certainly advise you to carry on building new trust and relationship with your 3 children that you've broken. Concentrate on a new way to be a dad as a single dad to those babies. That's what you deserve to do now for them. That's what they deserve. And what you deserve to do is put everybody else first. It's not about you. As much as you might be hurting and kicking yourself and wishing and singing Cher, turn back time, it ain't gonna fucking happen. Concentrate on them babies. Concentrating on being the best dad you can be to them babies, and fuck everything else, because your feelings don't matter. You're having these feelings because you've done it. Concentrate on that, and in time things will get better. I cannot fix your relationship, and it doesn't sound to me like your wife wants you to either. So just be the best parent you can be, and things will get easier as time goes on. When me and Olivia's dad split, he left me when I was 7 months pregnant. I never thought I would ever be able to be in the same room as him again. Years and years later, we are the best of friends. We share a daughter. If somebody had said to me, oh, you're going to be best friends, I'd have gone, not a fucking chance, but, you know, time does heal, but that doesn't mean to say you'll be together. Dear Auntie Nelly, my husband and my daughter are not speaking at the moment, and it's a right mess. Oh, the problem is she recently brought her boyfriend home to stay for the weekend. He was supposed to stay in the spare room. Oh, but during the first night, my husband bumped into him coming out of our daughter's bedroom in the middle of the night. He was so mad that he didn't sleep at all that night. He wanted to throw him out, but I said, do not do that. He had expected the boyfriend to sleep in the spare room, as we had all agreed. The next morning, my daughter and my husband had a massive argument, and my daughter left with the boyfriend and hasn't returned. Ooh. My husband was out of order, but he was brought up in a strict environment and feels he's done no wrong at all and feels so disrespected that his decision not to let the boyfriend sleep with our daughter in our home wasn't obeyed. I don't know what you and your flower pots think about this, because she has said that she's not coming back unless he can and he can sleep with her. Well, you'll not be fucking coming back then, will you? Because my house, my fucking rules. And I couldn't give a fuck how old you are. But if your parents say you are not to sleep with your boyfriend under my roof, and that's the rule we've got, then you respect it. I mean, it's only for a fucking weekend. Calm yourself. You respect your parents' wishes. You are living under their roof. She has absolutely no respect. I get where your husband's coming from, but I also feel, has he gone quite overboard? I mean, she's a 22-year-old girl, and is she a grown adult? Yes, she is. But does he feel disrespected? Yes, he does. Could they have communicated that in a different way so that daughter didn't blow up, dad didn't blow up, now she's fucked off and said, I'm not coming back unless... No, you don't make the rules in my home. You live in my home. I agree for you to live in my home. However, these are the rules. And as a 22-year-old adult, if you don't like the rules, please fuck off and live elsewhere and abide by your own rules. And I think it's sad that they're not speaking, and it's sad that it's not been communicated, but I'm absolutely on your husband's side with this. It's your home, it's his home. And even though it's your daughter's home too, you asked her to make sure that boyfriend slept in the spare room, and they said, yeah, and then they've gone behind your back. No, it's so disrespectful, and it's taking the fucking piss. And if you don't like it, there's the door. I ain't keeping you prisoner or kidnapping you. Off your foot, flower. My house, my rules. That's what I think about it. Flower pots could think completely different about it, but that's what I think about it. Now, when we're talking about our children, regardless of them being grown adults, having sexual relations with boyfriends, girlfriends, partners, they're engaged, they're due to get married, whatever it is, it's not a comfortable subject, is it? It's not. But believe me, they do not have to sleep in the same bed for that to happen. If that's going to happen, it's going to happen at local park or up and down a back alley or over a wheelie bin. They will have sex, they're going to have sex. It doesn't have to be in that room under your roof. And I think you're very naive if you think that. But I think she really does need to apologise. I think she really does need to say, do you know what? I absolutely took the piss. I completely disrespected you. It's not my boyfriend's fault. It's my fault because it was my responsibility. And I'm sorry. And hopefully that would mend it. If that apology doesn't come, then you need to tell her that it's your house, your rules. And should she want to come in future, that's fine. She's more than welcome. But if she doesn't want to abide by the rules, I suggest she starts looking for property elsewhere, because that's how it is. And if you don't want to come back, because that's not what I allow in my home, then you better get yourself a rental somewhere, because those are the rules, and if you can't abide to them, there's no point you living here. And it really is as brutal and as black and white as that. It's what it is. Dear Auntie Nelly, the last one, what time is it? Oh, it has been quite a long one, hasn't it? My apologies, I'll crack on. Dear Auntie Nelly, my best friend has just had a baby at the age of 49. Jesus fucking Christ in heaven. 40, that's next year. Next March I'm 49 and I would be having a baby. Oh dear God. Whew! Both of us have grown up children and have shared so much together. However, the thoughts of going through the baby years again with her fills me with dread. We had so many plans for our 50th, eh? Why is it filling you with dread? She's the one with the baby. I feel I am going backwards, not forwards. Why are you going backwards? She's had the baby, not you. I don't get this. Our adult children are at the age that they are trying for babies themselves, not her. I have met with my friend a handful of times since she has had her newborn, but I'm sorry to say I'm getting no pleasure from her company and find we have little in common. She is so preoccupied with a baby. Do you think I'm being selfish and unreasonable? Yes, I do. Yeah, because your friend has had a baby at 49, and by doing that, you find this so inconvenient to your upcoming 50th. Yeah, I do think you're being selfish. And when you've said that, you don't want to go through the baby years again, what is she asking you to? Has she asked you to move in and do night feeds? Is that what she's asked you? Because unless she's asked you that, then I don't see your fucking problem. Also, it's going to ruin your fucking 50th. Why have you only got one friend? What makes you think that you can't still have a joint 50th? Just because she's had a baby? It's not an illness, and it doesn't disable you. And then what makes you think that she actually enjoys your fucking company? What makes you the king of this friendship? Do I think you're being unreasonable? Absolutely. Do I think you're being selfish? Absolutely. Do I personally think having a baby at 49 for me personally? Absolutely not. But she's had a baby at 49. Embrace it. Life is beautiful. Babies are wonderful. It's hope. It's new life. If she wants you to be there as a friend, help all you can. If you don't want to be, well, you've never been a nice friend then, have you? You're not a true friend, are you? Sounds to me like you've only ever wanted the good time friend, or you are the good time friend and you don't want to be there for possibly, you know, maybe watching a nativity playing in future years unless it's your grandchildren. Very selfish, very unreasonable, and I would not want a friend like you, but I also would not want to be the friend that is having a baby at 49. So there you go. I don't think she's missing out on much having you out of her life, so do one, dickhead, because you're better off just going doing what you fucking want. Leave her to raise a little baby and have a nice time. That's been today's Sunday service. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It was quite a mixed bag, wasn't it? I feel absolutely depleted now. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's quite a lot there I need to think about. If you have enjoyed today's show and you have any Sunday services or nighttime Nellies, please write into the page. And any review requests, please write into the page. Any advice I've given on today's show has been purely for entertainment purposes. And if you do get any comments on your comments with gift prize giveaway or any scam pages that are trying to follow you, the scams, don't fall for it. And I will see you on Wednesday night at 9 PM. in the room where no action happens for Nighttime with Nelly. Take care, flower pots, and I'll see you all very, very soon.